show up. I have it on my computer monitor right there. I'm doing vertical because I wanted to test that. But this should be working. Hello. I don't know if it's working or not. Got to tap on the things on my phone. Well, it says I'm live. I'm going to trust it. There we go. It's working. There we go. I have, like I said, have it on my monitor right there. But hello, everyone. Welcome to a 1 year celebration of doing the One Piece shorts. This is impromptu, so I had to take the case off my phone for this so I could get this to set up there. I don't even know if my audio is coming in good. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? Sweet. I'm doing this in vertical because YouTube introduced vertical live, so I really wanted to test that. But how's everyone doing? Hello, people. How are you all doing? Double thumbs up. Yeah, that is my go-to. I don't know how to pose. Oh boy, there's already questions. What's your favorite One Piece episode? I think so far my favorite. That's a hard question because they're not really episodic, so it's hard to pick a favorite. Like I could tell you my favorite arc, but not my favorite specific episode. It's already been a year. Technically, it has. Oh shit. Technically, it has been a year. I didn't really start uploading regularly until December, which is why I'm not at 365 episodes yet. Still not over you dissing Sanji. I will take any chance I can to diss any of the characters. No one is safe. What's my favorite arc? I think my favorite arc is probably the Alabasta arc. Either that or the second half of Sky Island is really good. Favorite Straw Hat? My favorite Straw Hat right now, I can rank the Straw Hats. I'd say Robin, Chopper, Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, in that order. That's 6 of them, right? Yeah. Oh, Usopp. I forgot about Usopp. Usopp ranks between Robin and Chopper. There's 7 of them. Well, actually, I guess at the point I'm at, Usopp is dead, so. Favorite arc? I already said that. Either Alabasta or the second half of Sky Island. It's hard to choose, you know. They're all so good. Favorite moment so far? I really like in... gosh, that's a hard one, too. Because I'm thinking back through my favorite... NL's face is a pretty funny one. But I think my favorite arc is probably Zoro's like beating Mr. One in Alabasta because that's just such a really cool moment. I'm fiddling with my phone case. I took it off. I have a foldable phone because I'm one of those weirdos that buys new tech products. And so I have like this weird foldable phone case. So I'm just fiddling with it while talking. Okay, the chat stopped updating on my phone. Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Thoughts on Sniper King? Sniper King is great. I just miss Usopp. Why you hate Sanji like that? I don't hate Sanji. He's just the least interesting Straw Hat to me. But that's like saying that chocolate is the least good flavor of ice cream. They're all great. Skype is an arc that's rough in the anime. It just gets more relevant. It is kind of rough in like the pacing department. Like some things feel like they could go faster, but overall, I think it's very enjoyable. Frankie, and if you like Slender characters, you should love the film Strong World. Would you watch One Piece live? I'm gonna watch the live action after I finish the entire anime. That's the whole reason I actually started doing this, because I wanted to watch live action, but I didn't want to get spoiled for the anime just in case I ever started watching it. So I decided, well, I'll just start that just in case now. Uh, what's your favorite opening? My favorite opening is fuck, what was it? Believe in no, not Believe in Wonderland. That was the second one. I think the first one is very strong. It was the fourth one, I think, that I think is my favorite so far. Chat keeps disappearing off my phone. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Favorite character, favorite NL face. That's not. More NL faces happen in the future. That's great to hear. That sounds fun. Uh, Do you have any characters from past arcs you'd have wanted to join the Straw Hats? I feel like, if they added someone from Skypiea, I wouldn't have been upset, but none of the characters felt like they really fit there. And every time a character does feel like they fit in with the Straw Hats, except they end up joining them, except for Vivi, she stayed behind in Alabasta. I was 50-50 on whether or not she was actually going to stay with them. It felt like it could go either way, and obviously it went the way that it went. Favorite pirate flag. I really like the Straw Hats pirate flag. That is such a simple yet great logo design for them. Uh, is it hard to watch without spoilers? Yes, especially because people like to spoil in comments. I have someone go through and comb through comments for me beforehand, so they delete things for me that I don't that I shouldn't see, or at least tell me to not look at them. Uh, Favorite devil fruit. Uh, my favorite devil fruit. It's hard to separate the devil fruit from the users because the users and the devil fruits are so entwined with one another. But I'd have to say that if we're going by devil fruit and user, Ace, just because I like Ace, the way he's like kind of the way he's so similar to Luffy, but with more responsibility and just an aura of confidence to him. Not to say Luffy isn't a confident character, but also just his design reminds me of like cool in a greasy way, which is something you don't really see a lot in anime. Usually it's just cool in a badass way, which is also why I really like Luffy, because he's cool in a goofy way. Let me, uh, would you watch the anime live with us? No, because copyright is a bitch. And the fact that the pacing was slow because it gave me more time to watch it. That is one way to look at it. Uh, you can watch the live action after the next arc. It'll be spoiler free. Most of the references to cameos that appear. I'm already dead set on just burning through the entirety of the anime and then getting to the live action. Besides, by the time I get through the anime, there'll probably be a second season of live action, so that means it'll last longer. What villain do you hate the most? That's Arlong, because he's racist. Racism is bad. Uh, what were your expectations of One Piece, and what do you think of it now? So obviously, going into it, I knew that it was a super long series. I knew like the concept of devil fruits. I knew that there was a gang of pirates called the Straw Hats, and I knew that Luffy could stretch. Beyond that, I didn't really know anything. Oh, also one thing I'm sorry to say, but I do know eventually that a skeleton joins the crew, because at one point I was watching Toonami trying to catch like Samurai Jack or something, and I caught the last 30 seconds of an episode, and there was a skeleton on the ship with them. That's the only thing I remember. Um, what do you use to watch One Piece? Right now I use Netflix. I used to I starting off I watched on Hulu, but there was some weird audio sync issues with Hulu on my TV, so I switched over to Netflix. And then when I get to the point that Netflix doesn't have episodes anymore, I'm probably going to switch over to either Crunchyroll, or I think you can get Crunchyroll through Amazon, because both of those can go on the TV. Uh, Favorite non-Straw Hat or favorite villain so far? Ooh, all these like favorite character ones are so tough, because like the writing in One Piece is so stellar. Like it is so good. Like it's hard to pick favorites. And in fact, every time I'm at the end of a saga, In fact, I just did this for the Sky Island Saga video a couple days ago. Well, actually, a couple weeks ago at this point. I procrastinate really hard with the. I've been procrastinating really hard with the Sky Island video. But like it was super hard to go through and pick my favorites for pretty much everything because like how do you pick your favorite when there's so many good things? And I know that's such a non-answer, but I'm going to move on to the next bit. Are you going to read the cover stories that weren't animated? Not only have I read most of them, not most of them, all the ones up to this point so far, but I printed them out. And I'm gonna do a bit with this. This is probably. I'm gonna do a bit with this corkboard and putting these on them when I finally get around to recording it. Like I said, I've been procrastinating like a motherfucker. Oh, I just spilled my thumbtacks everywhere. I'll clean that up later. Is it hard to fit everything in a short? A lot of the times I do have to cut quite a bit just to keep. So I try to keep the shorts under 50 seconds because they perform better that way, which is like such a YouTuber thing to say, but that's really just how it goes. So I try to keep them under that amount of time, and so I do have to cut quite a bit. Chat keeps disappearing off my phone. This is annoying. I hope you also have a mod here to delete spoilers. That would have been smart, but I don't. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but I did. What's your favorite anime that is not One Piece? Ooh, that is a good one. I've watched. I actually haven't watched a lot of anime. I've watched Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched the OG Dragon Ball though. I hear it's good. I watched Black Clover. Oh, easy. One Punch Man and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure both have my heart in like in a vice grip. Sorry, just got here. What episode are you on? So today, I've been really lazy because I've been procrastinating a lot. I've only been like getting through the amount of episodes I need in any given day. So I am up to, I believe it's 289 today, which will go live in about 45 minutes is when that episode goes out. 289 would be the answer. What do you think of Ennie's lobby so far? I think it is incredibly well done so far. Some of the pacing and just like padding out episodes by putting an extended recap at the beginning, not my favorite. But like I understand why, and I understand why there was 5 recap episodes. This is a week by week anime that's been running for 25 years at this point, and like 10 years at the time that Ennie's lobby was coming out. So it's really hard. It's really not hard to understand why they would have to stretch things and kind of fuddle with the budget. What do you think of the dub VA's work? I think that most of them do an amazing job when it's just filler voices, like when it's just additional voices, I think is the actual term, where it's a one-off character that has 2 lines at most. That's when I feel like they kind of drop the ball a little bit, but all the main characters do a perfect job. Well, not perfect job, but a spectacular job in the dub. And I have heard some of the original voice, the original Japanese audio, and I think they all do a good job, but I don't know enough Japanese. 私は日本語が私は小さい日本語がわかります. I think that means I only know a little Japanese, because I only know a little Japanese. So I can't tell you if they're like great or not, because the language barrier is kind of something that's hard to overcome in that performance, in understanding a performance, I should say. What do you think the One Piece is? Treasure. A big pile of treasure. Just sitting there at the end of the line. I will say, I think that the One Piece, and I'm sure this is like something that's already been confirmed or is a theory that in the community that I just haven't been a part of. I think that the One Piece is hidden underneath Reverse Mountain because X marks the spot, and that's where the Grand Line and the Red Line intersect, and Reverse Mountain has a built-in X with the waterways that lead up to its peak, which is probably like the world's most common theory, but that's just something I want to say. Will I read the manga? I'm planning on, once I catch up to the anime, which will take a while, whatever manga is out at that point, get through that, and then just do however long it takes for the anime, a new episode of the anime or a new episode of the manga. Just do a short series on both each as they're going, and it's because I'll be caught up at that point. And there'll be nothing new. I don't know if I explained that well, but I hope I get the point across. Uh, what episode am I actually on? Do I only watch 2 episodes a day? Like I said, I used to watch like 4 episodes a day and just be padded out for a bit. But when I got sick with like, I think it might have been the flu, might have also just been a really bad migraine. I hate it when that kind of stuff happens, but it kind of messed up my whole ability to function. So I have only been watching 2 episodes a day since then. I've been trying to get in more, but like, it's just hard to get back into the swing of things, especially when I have just been procrastinating so much. um, have you gone to a Mega Mart? Yes, I got the Cherry Blitz. I went there when I was at TwitchCon last year. I got the Cherry Blitz plushie, and I got I don't know if you can see it, but I got the VIP badge. It was fun. I had lots of fun. I spent the entire time doing the story, and so I kind of just ran around doing nothing. Uh, well, I ran around absorbing everything, which means I did less than I wanted to. Da, 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 da. I gotta ask, how many spoilers have you come across? My friend is behind and always struggles to not run into surprises. Surprisingly, not a lot. Most people are good about like marking spoilers, and if you are leaving a comment that has spoilers and you say spoilers and then interline, interline, interline until it's in the read more section of the comment, I actually really appreciate that, because like I want people to be able to talk about things that are upcoming, but putting the spoilers mark like that is a great way to do that and let you guys like talk in the comment section without me having to run into things. So if you want to talk about spoilers in the comment sections of my videos, do it like that. That is a way that I very much appreciate. What was your reaction to Ace being Luffy? Okay, so I feel like I need to like clarify with the whole Ace being Luffy's brother thing. My original plan with that joke was it started with Alvida being Luffy's mom, and then the mysterious guy, I think his name ended up being Dragon, who's like a terrorist or something, ended up right, Luffy and Alvida ended up being Luffy's mom. Dragon, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, my brain is fuzzled. The joke was Luffy was Alvida. Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, my brain works too fast sometimes, and so I have to like clear for a second. I also need to drink something. The joke was that Alvida was Luffy's mom because she was looking for him. Then, since Dragon saved him, the joke was that he was his dad. And so then I figured, you know what, I'll build out a family tree. And then I accidentally got Ace being Luffy's brother right. And so I decided, well, I'm not allowed to make jokes anymore. Jiminy Christmas. My brain likes to speak without speaking. I don't know if that makes sense, but Crunchyroll's everything mostly dubbed. That's why I'm planning to. Crunchyroll's just an extra subscription cost. So like I'm going with Netflix for as long as I can because I already have access to Netflix. But when I get to that point, then I will switch over to Crunchyroll because I know they have everything dubbed. I just don't want to pay the extra subscription cost until I have to. Uh, favorite One Piece laugh? They do that in the dub. There's Dory, Broggy. I don't. I think so far only really the Giants have their unique laughs. Dory, Broggy, Kashi and Oimo don't have their unique laughs, or at least they don't have unique laughs as far as I know. But I do like Saul's there. She. You will love Chopper more by the end of this arc. I swear his dedication for his friend is amazing. Chopper is the perfect case for why you should always do drugs, kids. No, not don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. Which Straw Hat has the best backstory? Well, I just got through Robin's backstory, so that one's fresh in my mind. and it is really good. What was your favorite arc so far? Again, that's something I have a hard time choosing. I've said it before, but I said it earlier, but either Alabasta or Skypiea. Which character do you want to see again the most? I want to see them interact with Vivi more. She was a great part of the crew, and I am a little disappointed that I understand why she was left behind and why they replaced her with Robin. But like, I do miss her as part of the crew. She was really good with them. Thoughts on Pell? I don't know how the hell Pell survived 3 fake out deaths. 3! That was annoying. Unrelated, but what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Ooh, that depends on the day. Sometimes I'm all about that chocolate life, but recently I've been more of a French vanilla type person. Of course, drowned in chocolate sauce. Do you wish you could watch it without reviewing? I feel like I wouldn't end up watching it if I wasn't doing this. Like, it's so long that this is more of an excuse to watch it, because I have to force myself to keep going through it. And it's something that I want to watch, and I've wanted to watch it for a while because, like, I watch a couple of YouTubers that say it's really good, and they like always talk about how they enjoy the series, and so I'm like, oh, I should watch it. And then this is me finally forcing myself to do that. How did you get into One Piece? I feel like I just accidentally answered that question too. How do you do the spoiler mark? I think you literally just type the word spoiler and then just hit the enter key a bunch of times, or the page break key a bunch of times. I was also watching 1 or 2 a day. Once I hit a certain episode, I watched like 240 episodes nonstop for a month. Oh my gosh, you have no idea how much I have to hold myself back from doing that sometimes, because like I am a binge watching fiend. Dragon is a revolutionary. Yeah, I think they mentioned that. They said that he was like a terrorist or something, which I guess, to the government, a revolutionary would be a terrorist. But I do like that he's classified differently from pirates, because they don't mention him as a pirate. They mention him as like something else, and I thought that was interesting because like the reason that he saved Luffy being because he thinks that Luffy could be instrumental in like some sort of big fight in the future is a very interesting premise. The community has an even better theory on who Luffy's mom is. I'm sure that there's plenty of theories on who Luffy's mom is. Luffy has I'm sure that Luffy does. I don't really pay a lot of attention to the laughter unless it's called out. Like, I didn't even realize Dorian Brockie had unique laughs until Sniper King said it did them to Kashi and Oimo. Doing drugs because you told me to. Don't do drugs. Remember, kids, stay in drugs and don't do school. Which Straw Hat, in your opinion, has the happiest backstory? Well, if you take out the whole, like, nearly starving to death thing, Sanji at least got to grow up with a parental figure. I don't know. We don't know much about Luffy's backstory at the point that I'm at, so he could have a happy backstory, other than the whole Shanks losing his arm thing. Uh, Children, you saw what happened to Chopper when he did drugs. He killed all his loved ones. Well, you know, sometimes that's the sacrifice you've got to make. No, but seriously, don't do drugs. Where do you watch One Piece? Netflix. What was that? What has happiest backstory? Do you watch on Netflix? Yes. Philgot Newton survived. I'm also probably pretty delayed on chat because I'm scrolling through on my phone and just answering questions however long it takes. Do you want more non-human crew members? That would be fun. Like maybe adding a fishman to the crew, or because they already have like an animal human, so adding like fish human to the crew seems like a pretty like easy like way to just add bonus points to the whole, like, the crew is a whole bunch of different people from a bunch of different backgrounds. That would be fun. Do you think the giraffe is stupid? I think that the giraffe fruit, or the ox fruit model giraffe, is only as stupid as Kaku makes it, because he does look very silly with the whole square nose. Who do you main in Smash? Oh, it's been a while since I played Smash, but after the Steve DLC came out, I played Steve for a bit because he was the funniest character, because he was Minecraft Steve. But before that, I still haven't taken a drink in my drink. I used to play. This is probably dusty as heck. I used to play Incineroar, and then in previous Smash games, in Smash 4, I played Bowser. But in Ultimate, I was Incineroar until Steve came out. I still don't have a Steve amiibo, but I want to get one. What arc are you looking forward to? So I don't know much about the future arcs, like at all. I just know a couple of their names. Uh, have you watched the live action? Not yet. I'm waiting until I finish the anime to get there. Do you have a favorite fight? I'd say right now either Luffy versus Enel or Zoro versus Mr. One are my favorite fights. Zoro versus Mr. One because it has that cool moment at the end, and Luffy versus Enel because it's just so funny to see like someone with such a high ego be just crushed by the realization that their natural enemy is upon them. Uh, do you like Omega Mart? Omega Mart was fun. I think it's a very fun experience to do at least once. Like if you're in Las Vegas, I don't think it's worth making a trip to Las Vegas specifically for, but I think it is definitely worth doing if you are in Vegas. Da, 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 da. I think there's a big stream delay. So there's not really a big stream delay. It's more a delay with me reading chat because I'm literally scrolling through. Here, let me show you guys on here what I'm doing. I'm like literally scrolling through, stopping, reading, and then talking. And so however long it takes for me to get through a message before I move on to the next one is how I'm doing it. Hi, I'm a new One Piece follower. I've watched all 1100 episodes in 8 months. That is a lot of episodes to watch in 8 months. Best character introduction. Ooh, I like Chopper's introduction because just like he's something completely unexpected. A reindeer with a human fruit instead of a human with a reindeer fruit. And on top of that, he has the really good backstory with Dr. Hero Look. And so out of character introductions, either him or actually Robin has a really good introduction. I thought they were setting her up to be like a villain that betrays the other villain, like an enemy of my enemy is my friend type situation. And no, turns out the enemy of my enemy really is just my friend. My personal theory is that Sniper King is from the same dimension as Chopper Man and something allowed him to escape. No, Sniper King is from Sniper Island. He says so himself. Who do you think Sniper King is? Sniper King is obviously Sniper King. Usopp's friend, Sniper King. The destructive power of the giraffe. Never underestimate the limitless destructive power of a giraffe. I'm really impressed when I'm assuming you are. I knew a lot of spoilers. So I think the easiest way to avoid spoilers is I just try to avoid like fan discussion spaces, which is something that I really want to take part of. Like it's kind of a minefield to navigate that stuff. And even then, I'm not completely spoiled. Like I said, I know that there's going to be at least one new crewmate who is a specific type of person that I know about, being a dead person. But for the most part, avoiding spoilers is really easy if you just know to avoid where people are talking about it. And like I occasionally will see on Twitter like fan art pop up, and it'll feature like things that I don't know about yet. and so I'll just push them to the back of my mind and try to forget about them. But usually, like even like algorithm stuff is pretty good at understanding that, oh hey, you're not liking things from episode 700 plus, so I'll just show you the fan art featuring characters that you already know because these are the things that you're liking and talking about. And also, every time I see a One Piece short in my feed, I just skip immediately past it. Da, da, da. And Gal, can I have a shout out? Sure, TGG King. Uh, what do you think has been the best intro in One Piece? I said it before, it's the fourth one. Bon Voyage. Bon Voyage is my favorite so far. It just has a very nice rhythmic melody to it. Um, favorite villain? I think my favorite villain so far, again, choose favorites, but probably Enel, just because the whole god complex thing makes for a very interesting villain. If you could eat a devil fruit, which one? So, this is gonna sound dumb, but I have thought about this, and I don't think I'd want any of the devil fruits that are actually in the series so far. Because it's no fun to have a devil fruit that someone else has already had, because like then like you're not gonna be creative with it. And instead, I always try to think of, well, if I could invent a devil fruit to eat, which one would I pick? And I'd just say something like, so I'm already someone who's very lucky. So if I could have a devil fruit, I'd try to go for something like a lucky fruit that just makes you super lucky. And maybe like a downside of it could be like you have to. Sorry, I get really into writing things. So maybe like a downside of it would be that you have to discharge bad luck in order to have good luck going forward, or something like that, which I think would be a really cool devil fruit. Which is why I would want to eat something like that instead of any of the already existing in the series devil fruits, at least up to this point. Which area would you live in the One Piece universe? I've thought about this too. If I was in the One Piece world, everyone likes to think, oh, I'd be like a great pirate captain. I'd probably just be like some random farmer on a middle of nowhere island in the East Blue. Like, I'm not gonna say I'd be the world's greatest pirate. I wouldn't become the pirate king. I'd probably just be some schmuck tending to his wheat fields every day, making bread when he's done. What's your biggest slash favorite prediction? So like I don't make actual predictions very much. And when I do, the actual predictions I make instead of the jokes that I just stumble headfirst into being correct with end up being wrong. Like how I said I thought that Robin would end up being like a villain that just helped the Straw Hats once against Crocodile. So I don't really have any like actual big predictions. Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head at least. Uh, Keep up the good content. I'm looking forward to seeing you blow up. Everyone says like I'm looking forward to seeing you blow up, and like I'm very appreciative of everyone who says that because it means they like my videos. But like I'm not gonna count on it ever happening. I'm just gonna keep grinding out these videos, doing the best I can, and hopefully one day it will happen. Uh, what's your favorite devil fruit so far? Did I already answer this? Yeah, I said Ace with his fire fruit, just because it's Ace that has it, and I like Ace. Ace is fun. Uh, Once you've caught up to the animes, will you do reviews for the manga or wait for new episodes? So when I catch up all the way to the anime, my plan is to then go through the manga up until the point that I catch up with that, and then as new episodes of the anime come out and new chapters of the manga come out, cover those as they happen. And what's the most far out spoiler? You know that there's going to be a arc or a saga called Wano, and that's all I know about it. Like I said, I know the names of a couple of them because that's just like those are like big things, just the names of the arcs. There's one called Whole Cake Island, one called people have even mentioned it in chat today, Dressrosa, and one called Wano. And then I know that Egghead is the one that's currently airing now. But like I said, I really only know the names of those, so there's not it's not really like spoiler territory, just the names of the arcs. Next arc is very slow and a bit painful to get through, but then it transitions to the most peak moment in the series. I think that even the slow arcs are very fun to get through. The only one I really had problem with was the Foxy arc, because Foxy just so I know that Foxy is canon, and the Long Ring Long Land arc is also canon, but the non-canon episodes of that canon arc are what dragged it out to the point where it was barely tolerable. And I think if they didn't have those, then it would be great. Uh, but what I'm trying to get across is that even the slow stuff is better than the padding stuff. Uh, you would have thought Luffy would fight a god later than episode 200. I mean, yeah, but that's just like shonen protagonist stuff. Like, every shonen protagonist will eventually fight and kill God. That's just what happens. Any kind of predictions on future Devil Fruits characters or arcs? Well, I can tell you one thing. I know that Luffy's going to become the king of the pirates. I watched a sub and he was called Eneru, not Enel. So Eneru is this dub name, and that's why I referred to him as Eneru in the shorts that I made. But Enel is his official name in the Japanese version of the show, and in the I think the Viz translation of the manga. Uh, so like there's conflict in that. Do you call him Eneru or do you call him Enel? Because both are equally official names with equal enough standing point as translations. So I'd say if you're watching the dub, it's fine to call him Eneru. If you're watching the sub, it's fine to call him Enel. And I'm going to call them both interchangeably so nobody's happy. There is a Luck Luck fruit. It's in a movie. See, this is what I'm talking about when I say that like I just stumble headfirst into things, because like the Luck Luck fruit, like I think that like I would like something like that because I base that off of the fact that I have a naturally very high luck ability. Like you see this thing here, I'm not sure if you can actually see it or not, but this Yamaha audio interface I won at TwitchCon last year from the Yamaha giveaway that they were doing. I also won a microphone, but I misplaced that somewhere, and my room's a mess. I have a very narrow view here that I have, like, not a mess that you guys can see. Everything surrounding me is a mess. And it's just because the L's and R's in Japanese are pronounced differently. Yes, that is why there is a big like difference in Eneru versus an L, because in Japanese his name would I don't know for sure, but it would probably come out to be something like Eneru, Eneru, because you pronounce R at the back of your mouth instead of at the front of your mouth, like ra 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 in Japanese. Uh, Compared to ra, it's ra, which also very much sounds like la, which is why in Japanese, when you're using a foreign language word, if there is an R, you will just substitute it with ra. If there is an L, I mean, you'll substitute it with ra. At least as far as my understanding, like I said, watashi wa chisai nihongo ga wakarimasu. I only understand a very small amount of Japanese. Um, Who's that face on the screen? That is Gaspard from the fourth movie. It is a very funny screenshot that I very much like of him. So I have this as just the background while I'm doing this. It's also the background in the fourth movie segment of the Sky Island video. And I feel like I need to say I have been procrastinating so much on the Sky Island video. It is almost done. I just need to record the cover story segments of it and edit those, and hopefully I'll be able to get it out soon. But procrastination is a bitch. You're my favorite YouTuber right now. Thank you, Green. Don't know if you've answered this question. Who's your favorite villain? My favorite villain is, once again, I think I'd have to say NL, just because of the whole god complex thing. Who's your favorite character? Out of the main Straw Hats, I'd say my favorite is Robin, followed by Usopp, Chopper, Luffy, and then the others just in a pile on the ground. You can pick and choose, and they'll probably end up in a place. And how long do you think you'll take to be caught up? I think when I was doing one episode a day, it was going to take just over 3 years. But now that I'm doing 2 episodes a day, it'll take probably about 2 years. But there's less than 1,000 episodes from here on going forward. And it's been that way since like episode 100-ish. There's always going to be less than 1,000 episodes left, and that's how I tell myself to keep going, because there's always going to be less than 1,000 from here on out. The prediction about being immune to electricity back at Lockdown, that's not a prediction. He just was immune to the lightning. And it makes sense because he's made of rubber. But, he got hit by lightning in Logtown. Are you excited for the next member of the crew? Right now, it looks at the point that I'm at, I'm fairly certain the next member of the crew is Frankie. He has a pretty good, a pretty fun power set. I like that he can use his sideburns as batarangs. I had to cut that segment out of one of the shorts from today, but he has very fun and interesting abilities. And so I think he will make a good addition to the crew. And they've telegraphed him joining the crew so much that at this point, if it doesn't happen, then I will be shocked. Who do you think is stronger, Zoro or Sanji? I think the hierarchy of power in the Straw Hats is actually fairly simple. It's obviously Luffy at top, then Zoro, then Sanji, and that's there's not huge gaps between them, but I'd say the biggest gap is probably between Luffy and Zoro, then rather than Zoro and Sanji. And then in terms of physical strength, I'd probably put Chopper next, even if he's not as great of a fighter as, say, Robin, and then Usopp and Nami down at the bottom. Let's see. Have you heard of One Piece? Yes, I have heard of One Piece. I think that it is a very good resource for people who want to watch the show but don't like all the pacing issues. I'm probably not going to watch it because I hate myself, and I decided that this series is going to be me going over the anime as is, because I think part of experiencing it is experiencing the same highs and lows that fans have had to experience for the last 25 years. And that if I don't experience those same things, all those same filler arcs, all those same moments of terrible pacing, that I'm not getting the full fan experience, which is something that I want out of this series that I'm doing. And that's not to say that it's wrong to watch One Piece. I do think it is a very good resource for people who don't want to have that horrible experience. I just want to subsume the bad with the good to get a more whole view of the franchise. Watching the arc after the Memory Loss arc, I think Memory Loss arc was the best filler arc so far. I think my favorite filler arc, I think Memory Loss filler arc actually isn't that bad. My favorite filler arc, shoot, I had one and I remembered. Wait, obviously, yeah, G8. I think my favorite filler arc is G8. I went through and I did my editing and the recording for that segment of the Sky Island video last week, and just going back and thinking about it made me really think that, yeah, G8 is probably the gold standard of filler arcs. Even if none of the other filler arcs, except for Warship Island, I am vehemently hate. I am the world's number one hater of Warship Island, but none of the other filler arcs are really that bad. It's just G8 is the gold standard, I'd say. But Memory Loss arc, again, not bad, just not as good as G8. What's your favorite video game? If you're talking about One Piece video games, I haven't played any of the One Piece video games, but if you're talking about just video games in general, right now I hate to say it, but I am a Fortnite player. You can all crucify me if you want, but Fortnite and Minecraft I grew up playing, and obviously I like Super Smash Bros. I own several amiibo. Uh, the new Zelda games have been pretty fun. I mean, like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild isn't really new, but Tears of the Kingdom also isn't that new anymore. But those are lots of fun. I spent like hundreds of hours playing those. Shoot, what else? Oh yeah, Sea of Thieves, pirate game. I love pirates, and so pirate game is a no-brainer. Sea of Thieves is one of my favorites, especially with the upcoming update where you get to play as the big old ship. That's gonna be so fun. Uh, what's your favorite devil fruit so far? Ace with his fire fruit, which like it's hard to separate devil fruits from users, so I always just lump them together. Uh, I watched the sub and didn't know his name was Enero. Just been calling him Enel anyways. Yeah, like I said, Enel and Enru are both very valid translations and ways to name the character. It's more of a, if I had to guess, I'd say that the dub went with Eneru because it made it easier to match the lip flaps of the speaking. Devil fruits range from basic to the weirdest things you can think of. One example is one that turns you into a jacket. That's that's so dumb. I love it. Do you have a dog? Yes, I've got three dogs. Well, I don't have three dogs. I live with my parents. My parents have three dogs. We've got Gary, Carol, and Charlie. Gary is the small, adorable one that I'll occasionally show. Carol is the biggest. She's got bad hips, and she is the white and gray. And then Charlie is black and white, a little hound dog, not little, the medium-sized hound and something. He's a mutt, half hound, half something. I think I've shown them all in my shorts before, so if like you could tell what they look like. I just don't. I have a very precarious setup here, as you can tell by the fact that I've dropped my phone a couple times. So I would have to move them, move like everything around too much to be able to show them right now. I can. I think I've also posted pictures of all of them to my Twitter. Um, so if you want to see my dogs, there are ways that you can. Uh, what was the first anime that stuck with you for a long time? So I've never really been like a huge anime fan. Like I like anime. I've watched Toonami occasionally, depending on what shows they have airing. I never watched One Piece on Toonami, but like I said before, I have caught like the last 30 seconds of the occasional episode. Actually, fun fact. Oh, this is gonna be dusty as heck. Oh, I just knocked over my Ant-Man figurine. So I actually won when Toonami did their anniversary. I was one of the people that won the giveaway. I got a free shirt. I got a hat, a beanie with the Dragon Ball logo on it. Actually, that's over there. I can grab that real quick. You can see my lights there. Like I said, I have a very precarious setup. So I won this figure that I've kept in the box because, you got to keep the figure in the box. Yeah. I'll fix that later. I won this beanie, this pin. It's a Dragon Ball Super beanie. I won this pin, and then I also won a patch. Oh, figure fell. I'll take care of that in a bit. But I'd say my Jiminy Christmas. Uh, but what even what was the first anime that stuck you with a long time? That was the question. That was the actual question. Then I got distracted by the Toonami stuff. I'd say the first anime that I actually really got into though was One Punch Man. Because I just really like One Punch Man. In fact, I'm all the way caught up on the manga and the webcomic for One Punch Man now. Um, so does anything else in the background have lore like the Omega Mart stuff and this Amiibo stuff? Yes, pretty much everything here. I have for a reason. Like, I really like the Puss in Boots movie, so I got the Puss in Boots DVD box set that came with this little eyeball squish. Uh, I have Luigi. Luigi used to be on the top shelf, and then he kept falling down, so he got relegated down to the bottom by the monitors. A lot of these are just McDonald's toys, if I'm being entirely honest. At least down here. Oh, I do also have this. Let me see if right here. I do also have this tiny Charlie Chaplin. It's hard to. Yeah, it's not focusing on him. But tiny Charlie Chaplin, I got at school when I was in college for film. I was taking a film class. There was a question if you could stump a thing where if you could stump the professor, you win a tiny Charlie Chaplin figure. I submitted a question, stumped the professor, got the tiny Charlie Chaplin figure. Uh, this little guy, you can't see him on screen, and if I move him, I'm gonna knock a bunch of things down. I have got a Quest Sprout plushie from the Swords webcomic. If you are a fan of webcomics, I highly recommend reading Swords. It is very good. Uh, Tillamook cheddar cheese. That is from the Tillamook Cheese Factory. Of course, I've got my Miku section. I've got Thember Shod from the Dungeons and Dragons movie because he is one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons things. A big old fat dragon. Oh, and then that painting, I painted it myself. It's Snowman Baby Yoda. Uh, can you show some Pokemon cards if you have some? I have Pokemon cards. They're just buried somewhere in my closet. It's been years since I've touched them. Da, da, da. What do you do with spoilers in the comment section? I know there's some assholes out there. I have someone who goes through and combs through the comment sections before I do, and they will like delete spoilers for me. What's your favorite piece of One Piece music so far? Um, Ooh, that's a hard one. So I actually learned while editing my One Piece the movie, my first One Piece movie video, the dedicated video that I redid the coverage of the movie for. I learned that a decent amount of the songs that you will hear like reused in the series, at least in the part that I'm at now, came from One Piece the movie. Like, and they'll have titles like Gonzo's Sorrow or uh, Wunan's Final Wish or something like that. But a lot of the music from One Piece the movie is really good. Do you have a Discord? I have a personal Discord that I use for communicating with people. I don't have like a fan Discord or anything like that. I think I'm thinking about setting up something like that eventually, but like at the point that I'm at now, I don't really think that like having a Discord is gonna do anything other than just have a server filling up space. Uh, Gal, my internet went down for 24 hours, but came back right as you started stream. Thanks for using your Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi know me. It is my honor to accidentally kick your Wi-Fi back into gear. Uh, Netflix skipping 500 episodes out of nowhere is a weird idea. I'm pretty sure that has to do with licensing the episodes, because like obviously if they could, they would have the whole series, but it's tied up with streaming rights. Streaming rights is a super weird rabbit hole to go down, especially like for example, South Park, super famous TV show, it can only stream it on HBO unless you're talking about the specials that you can only stream on Paramount Plus. But because of that, those specials on Paramount Plus, HBO sued Paramount because of it. Streaming rights are such a hard minefield to navigate. You dropped us. I know. Like I said, I have a very precarious situation. So what I have is my camera, my actual physical DSLR camera that I've had for years. I set up that, and I'm basically just balancing my phone camera on that camera. What I did it again. Have you watched Tower of God? No. The way my thought process when starting One Piece, either gonna watch all of it or watch none of it. Same here. That's why I started doing this series so I could force myself to watch all of it. That's a very noble take, choosing to deal with the pacing. I gave up on the anime during Dressrosa and Switch. I'm sure at some point I'm gonna get like incredibly fed up with everything, but like as of now, I really do just want to be able to like it's one thing to judge a series for its best moments. I want to be able to look back and look at all the good and the bad and say, you know what? Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Or, you know what? Yeah, maybe it wasn't worth it. But at the end, I'll just have it, having gotten through everything, I'll be able to say I can judge the series as a whole. And I had the whole experience. Well, granted, I'm never going to be able to have the whole experience because there are stage shows in Japan that have just stopped being done, and I can't find recording room anywhere. I'm about to drop the phone again. Uh, as a fellow long-haired man, what's your routine? I'm actually really terrible with my hair. It like you can see it, it's all like split up and not very good. I just use very basic shampoo and then brush it with like a leave-in conditioner. Uh, are you planning to do anything when you reach 500 episodes? I want to do. I think I am going to start doing like. I don't think I'm going to do like big celebrations when I reach every 100 episodes. Maybe for 500 episodes, or at least like 550, because that's closer to halfway of the current position. There's like 1100 episodes, right? Or am I just completely mistaken? I don't know. I don't keep up with that. I know there's over 1100 chapters, but I'm not sure the actual episode count. So when I get about halfway to whatever the current number is, that's when I'm planning on doing like a celebration. And I know at some point there's like a big time skip, just because like I don't know anything about it other than the fact that they do a time skip. So when I get to that point, I'm also going to try to do something. Uh, I guess that is a big spoiler that I know of. I should have mentioned that earlier, but I do know that at some point there is a time skip. I don't really know much of it beyond that. Uh, da, 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 da. I'm trying to scroll up to the. There we go. Who's your favorite Straw Hat? Mine is either Kandoriano or Zoro. I've said this before. Right now, Robin is my favorite Straw Hat, and I think I should elaborate on that. I really like Robin because of her character design is great. She is an archaeologist, which means she is an avenue for world building, and world building is like one of my favorite things. I have like a whole secret treasure trove of things I've written specifically just to world build my own like fiction stuff, which is something that I have lots of fun doing. And of course, her power, her devil fruit power, the hana hana no mi, the flower fruit, that's what it's called in English, is just incredible in terms of like visuals. Gizmo calling me a nerd. Thanks. Gizmo Hunter 64 there is my friend, one of my friends. Uh, can you say free Palestine, please? Sure, free Palestine. Like I don't think that innocent people should be killed. I don't think that that's a very controversial statement. And I think that criticizing the Israeli government is something that people should be allowed to do, so long as you don't get weird about it. Outside of your hat, do you have any other One Piece merchandise? Uh, hmm, do I? Oh, yes, I do. So outside of my hat, I also have these Zoro earrings. I was wearing them for a while. I was gonna have my like outfit be the hat and the earrings, uh, but then the earrings started to lose their gold. They were gold, and they kind of just now they're kind of a bronze, and also they're falling apart. So I stopped wearing them. Who do you think is the strongest? Luffy is obviously the strongest Straw Hat. There are probably people stronger than him out in the world at this point in the story. But like as for the Straw Hats, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, in that order. The gap between Zoro and Sanji is less than the gap between Zoro and Luffy. Luffy and Zoro. Um, forgot my oatmeal in the microwave. We've all been there. Uh, congrats on the year. Only 7 more decades to go. Woo! Da, 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 da. Aside from YouTube, do you have a job and what do you do? So I don't really have a full time job. I've been looking for a full time job, but I also video edit on the side as just like a way to get extra cash. I do editing for my friend Frosted Fricks. You can find him on TikTok at Frosted Fricks VA, I think, or it might be at Frosted Fricks Shorts. I'm not sure, but if you just search Frosted Fricks, you'll find him. He's a good friend of mine. He's also live on Twitch right now if you want to check him out there. But we have been friends for like 6 years now, and so I edit videos for him just on the side. He's also on YouTube Shorts at Frosted Fricks Shorts. And where is that? Who ran said from YouTube, what do you do? And you want to see my dogs? There are ways of seeing them, like Feet Finder or something. Uh, I'll post pictures of my dogs in the YouTube community tab after this is over. How about that? After this stream is done, I will put in my community tab pictures of my dogs. I don't know if I'll have to make like 3 separate posts or how many pictures I'm allowed to put, but I will put photos of my dogs there, just so everyone can see them. Room tour, you're not going to get a room tour out of me. My room is a complete mess. This narrowest view that you can see is the only like presentable area of my room. Dang, you really are lucky. I've literally never won a giveaway. I win giveaways all the time. I don't know if I've said just on this channel at all, but one time I won $1,000 just by looking up a photo of so this is a very fun story for me. It started with I was staying over at a friend's house when I was like 13, just so I could spend the night there and have fun in the next day, stay up all night, just a sleepover. Uh, and then I was the first one to wake up, and because there was this show I was watching hosted by Matt Pat from Game Theory called The Runner. I don't know when that show actually was airing, but that morning there was a clue, and it was a blueprint of a boat. And so I spent over an hour searching through Wikipedia for all museum ships in the area that they were in when they were recording that show, and I found the boat. And so I won $1,000 by just tweeting out to them, "Hey, I found your boat." And then like 2 days later, I did another thing on that same show, like another like send in thing, and won another $500 from them. So I've always been just unfathomably lucky and good at winning things. What was the question you asked to stump your professor? For the Charlie Chaplin figurine, the question I asked to stump my professor was, what is the only time that Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton have been on screen together in a non-documentary film? I can't remember the answer, but it was actually way later than the silent era. It was in the era of talkies, and I can't remember what the actual film was called, but Charlie Chaplin was only in there for a little bit. It was a Buster Keaton film. Do you play D&D, or did you play D&D? I play Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Every other Thursday, except for the Thursdays that we don't, I do over on my friend Frosted Fricks' channel, who I coincidentally mentioned earlier. We do a D&D game. Occasionally, the DM for that will comment on some of my shorts. Their name is Corners. I don't know their actual social handles, but every other Thursday, and in fact, the last one we did was this last Thursday, and so the next one will be not this upcoming Thursday, but the Thursday after that. So if anyone wants to watch that, that is where I play D&D. I think he's streaming on TikTok. He's not reading any of our stuff. I am reading all of the comments. I'm just very slow because I like to answer all the questions. Have you watched Bleach? No. That is another one of those ones that like people say they like, and I just haven't seen. Have you read slash considered reading the manga? I'm going to read the manga from the point when I catch up to the anime to whatever is available at when I get to that point. That is my current plan. So when did you get hooked on One Piece? For me, it had to be Arlong Park when I watched the whole thing in 2 days by accident because I couldn't sleep. I think Arlong Park is like if you're going to introduce someone to One Piece, but they don't want to watch like all the East Blue stuff, like don't start with the Baratier because the Baratier is the weakest of the East Blue stuff. Start with Arlong Park and tell them if you want to get the full context, you can go back and watch the preceding 40 episodes. And then I assure you they will be at least hooked enough to watch through Alabasta because that is a great arc to just show people how One Piece is and how it works. Do you watch Naruto? Naruto is another one that I just haven't seen. Anime that I have seen: One Punch Man, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Black Clover because I was really desperate to search for something with over 100 episodes I could just leave on in the background. Uh, yeah, just those three. And I guess now most, not even most, part of One Piece. Part of One Piece. Um, oh, I have also seen Kill la Kill. The Kill la Kill is one of my favorites. And of course, and yo, love your journey on One Piece. Thank you, Joseph Cheney. 1109 is the newest episode number. Damn, that's a lot of episodes. Uh, Usually hate time skips in anime, but One Piece handled it well. If you had a devil fruit, what would it be? I said this earlier, but like if I had a devil fruit, I would want something like a lucky fruit because luck is my whole shtick. What is your favorite piece of fiction that you wrote yourself? So I normally write short stories, and like I try to I want to write something long. I have a whole, I'm not going to show any of it, but I have like a bunch of drawings and stuff that I've done over the years of, hopefully you can't actually see. On the back of this piece of paper is a drawing that I kind of flubbed working on, but I've worked on stuff over the years because my favorite piece of writing I've done is one that I've shared with no one and exists entirely in my head. It is a series that I want to eventually make one day if I'm ever rich. And that is how I've rationalized keeping it entirely in my head for all these years. Um, you should cosplay every Straw Hat at once in at episode 1000 if you get there. I would love to cosplay a Straw Hat. Unfortunately, they are all either shirtless, Sanji, or have just water balloons strapped to their chests. So I don't think I could do that with any confidence. Least favorite filler arc. I'd say my least favorite filler arc is Warship Island. It was the first one, so it had all the growing pains of not quite understanding how they should do a filler arc, which is just what sets it apart as not my favorite. Uh, at this pace, are you planning to catch up to One Piece in 4 years? I think it should only take me 2 to 2.5 years at this pace. If it does take 4 years, well, that's just 4 more years of videos to make. So, I'm not going to be maybe stay away from anything political. I don't like to comment on politics too much, but like One Piece is political. Like even if it's sometimes it's very basic political takes, like racism is bad, authoritarianism is bad, but like Skypiea alone is one of the most political things I've ever seen. Like especially the way the Shandorans are treated in terms of like the narrative. Um, Dog reveal gonna go crazy. Did you draw your POV? I dropped my phone again. My bad. So that I do have. So what I did was I heavily referenced a frame from the anime, and I did draw this pencil and paper by referencing it, and then I went and I digitized it just in. I don't like saying the name of the program. I have Photoshop. I just don't have the disk space to install Photoshop, so I use GNU Image Manipulation Program, which is abbreviated as GIMP. You should change your name to Luck TV. That being said, what is the significance of your username? So, my username started way back when I was 12. I had a completely different username, and then eventually I got to the point where decided I need to change this. So remember that thing that I said about writing? Well, one of the characters that I keep bottled up in my head is a character whose name is Galvin. After galvanization, the process of like doing whatever the heck you do to metal to make it galvanized. And so I thought that word sounds really cool. I'll shorten it for that character's name. Then I'm like, huh, well, I don't want to just take that character's name, so I'll just add "ium" to the end. And then that's how I got Galvanium, which I went by Sir Galvanium for a while on Twitch and YouTube. I have an entirely different channel that you can find where I have like old gaming VODs and stuff. Then I decided, well, I'm making this new channel. I'm going to call it Galv, just shortened all the way to that. Then when YouTube rolled out the new handle system and you got the ats, I didn't get Galvin time, so I changed it to Galv TV. And then I decided, well, that sounds weird, so I'm gonna change it to Galvanium TV while keeping the @Galv TV handle. What's your favorite movie? In terms of the One Piece movies, my favorite one is Dead End Adventure. In terms of actual movies, I'd say probably either Across the Spider-Verse or the Lego movie. I really like animation. Do you believe the One Piece is real? I have seen the One Piece is real meme. I do know about Whitebeard's big old flailing penis. I'm sorry, that's just such a dumb thing for me to say. Uh, do you think the anime will end before you reach it? If the anime ends before I catch up, that's actually very beneficial for me because it means I will never have to be at a point where I am caught up. I don't think it's going to end before I'm caught up though, because even if One Piece is in, I remember hearing that One Piece is in its like final stretch, but if One Piece is in its final stretch, that could still go on for 5 to 6 years for all I know, in which I hope it goes on for at least 4 more years because that means I'll be able to catch up. Um, don't get mad, but I don't really like Alabasta. That's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. Personally, I think Alabasta is a very well done arc, but I can see that how someone would have their own like opinions on it that don't quite mesh with mine. What's your favorite zone fruit? Probably, hmm, probably the bird fruit. And unless you have like the bird fruit model ostrich, I don't think that that hasn't been shown in the anime, and it might not even exist. At least at the point that I'm at. Um, but like, as long as you don't get a flightless bird, the bird fruit seems like it would be very handy to just be able to fly anywhere. Do you think One Piece is too long? Well, it's been running for 25 years. It isn't too long. It's just long. Like there's no such thing as too long when your fans are still watching the series the same as they have for the last 25 years. Too long would be is if people stopped watching it, stopped reading it. That would be too long, but nobody's stopping. People are still excited as ever for it. Uh, I love your content. I hope the rest of your day is amazing. Thank you, 100 hours. I hope your day is amazing. Watch your content every day. We're both. I watch your content every day, and we are both on Any's lobby. Sweet. You could definitely cosplay Zoro with a shirt on. True, true. I guess Zoro does wear his shirt more often than not. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I could pull it off because he also has like, look, I don't have any muscle. I've done a couple shorts on the where I was in the little home gym that we have in our garage, but I don't really have the muscle to pull off a character like Zoro. Uh, don't get political about the series where the world government is a big bad guy. Look, One Piece is a very political series, and like I'm sure that people will disagree with that, but personally, I think that it is a very political series, even if you like ignore the fact that the bad guy is the world government. Like it just the way that it handles themes and just ideas, abstracting from the actual narrative and getting the messages from that, it's pretty easy to see like, oh yeah, there are some political takes in here. Do you have a Patreon? No, I don't feel comfortable doing a Patreon because my entire channel right now is built off other people's copyrighted works. And like, what am I gonna do on a Patreon? Like, record me watching an episode? That doesn't seem like it's very like fair use. Basically, I don't have a Patreon because I don't think I could add anything substantial that's worth paying for without heavily infringing on people's copyright. I've always read your name as Galvantham TV, like the Pokemon. Well, yeah, that's one way to read it. What's your favorite and least favorite arc so far? Sorry, I've been asked this question so far. I have been asked this question a few times. Favorite, either Alabaster or Skypea. Least favorite, if we're counting filler arcs, Warship Island. If we're not, the Baratier arc. I think the Baratier arc just dragged on a little too long, and Don Krieg isn't a very effective villain. The Lego Movie fits you so well. The Lego Movie is one of those things that I saw when I was like in my formative years, and so it really helped inform the kind of person that I am. What arcs are you looking forward to? I don't know enough about the art. I guess just everything. I don't know enough about what's coming to say I'm really looking forward to anything specific. Uh, what devil fruit would you like to see come to life in the show? I feel like thinking up. You know what? I have to give props to like anime writers because their ability to think up weird and wacky powers, especially Oda with all the different devil fruits. I would never think of something like the Door fruit. So I think that their ability to come up with all these, especially like I'd say the two best are Oda and Araki because just JoJo's and One Piece have some of the weirdest, most unfathomable, coolest powers ever. Not entirely sure, but I read that it was ending in 2025. It might be ending in 2025. One Piece might end then. One Piece might end in 2035. I don't know, but I do. I know. I know it's in its final stretch, but final stretch could mean anything from like this is the last 20 arcs to this is it. I predict it'll end with the next 6 years, 8 years, maybe. Like I said, no one really knows. How long will this stream be? It'll be until I decide that I am done. Will we? When will we get Gaimon return? Gaimon is forever in my heart. Number one One Piece character. He could solo everyone if he just wasn't in that box. Uh, what's your favorite devil fruit? It's hard to separate devil fruits from users. Ace is one of my favorite characters, and his devil fruit is really cool, so I'd say the fire fruit. Uh, do you know the Sanji cigarette theory? What, that he smokes? I don't think that's a theory. I think he just smokes. You're reaching some really cool points in the show. That's what people keep saying. I am looking forward to seeing what happens. Oda said something about 2 more years. Well, if it's 2 more years, then I guess I won't have to worry about catching up too early. Has anything been spoiled? If so, something that happened. What was it? So, like I've said before, the only big things I know that are spoilers are the names of upcoming sagas, the fact that there's going to be a time skip, and the fact that a skeleton will eventually join the crew. Those are the only three things I know. The first two are just because of just general One Piece discourse, the kind of unavoidable stuff. Like those are big hallmarks of the franchise, and the skeleton because I caught the last 30 seconds of an episode of Toonami years ago. Uh, bird fruit covers a lot of stuff. The bird fruit model pterodactyl count as a bird or dino? You know, I didn't think about the fact that there might be like, what count? Are there like fictional animals? Could I get a human fruit model fish man? Actually, no, that would be useless because devil fruit users can't swim. I get really excited when the show reaches my favorite point. When he reaches his favorite points in the show. Been here since episode 60. Episode 60 was a long time ago now, so thank you for sticking around. Not entirely caught up, so I don't know what exists up at episode 880. Yo ho ho ho. Crazy the Bratiak is least favorite when Syrup Village. Half the arc is one hill exists. I think Syrup Village is saved. Syrup Village is better than the Bratier arc in my opinion, for one very simple reason. Kudo is a much better villain than Don Krieg. I will always think of the arcs as being marked by their villains. Don Krieg is just bland. He's such a nothing character, and like it's funny that he in the Dead End Adventure movie he ends up getting 3 posters on a hallway full of wanted posters so deep into the Grand Line that he never even made it there because he only made it a week in the Grand Line. But I just think it's very funny. Uh, but I just think that Don Krieg, not my favorite villain. So Baratier, not my favorite arc. And it's very funny that Don Krieg just gets that set of posters. Uh, who's your favorite filler slash movie villain? Probably Gaspard. Gaspard is such an amazing villain. He has a really cool devil fruit power. He does really good in the narrative of the movie, and the movie is just one of my favorites. Dead End Adventure, that is. Have you watched Netflix live action yet? I haven't watched the Netflix live action yet. I'm planning to watch the entire anime and then watch the live action. If they do Chopper, I do think that they're probably going to CGI him, but I would love to see Muppet Chopper. It, and even if they do CGI him, they're probably going to do it like in the Sonic movies, where they have the on-set reference that's just a big puppet, and then you CGI over that. Uh, in the background in that Blitz beret from the weird Las Vegas store. Yes, that is Cherry Blitz from Omega Mart. I could barely fit that thing in my suitcase going home from TwitchCon last year. By the way, I'm going to be at TwitchCon this year if anyone wants to grab a selfie or something like that. If you're also going to be there, don't go out of your way to go there just to like meet me or anything. And I think that would be a bad idea. But if anyone happens to be there and you're also a fan, find me and I will take a photo with you. Uh, Water 7 was like, yeah, this is big three worthy. Before that, I thought it was just a nice adventure anime I enjoyed. Uh, I think that Water 7 and Enies Lobby has definitely been some of the highest highs. Like, it has been a great show before, but people don't lie when they say that this arc has some amazing moments in it. So I definitely am enjoying it so far. Fishmen can breathe underwater, so it would suck if you gave a fishman a devil fruit. They would just sit underwater forever. Oh, imagine like you accidentally unearth, like you're just dredging something like the Sorayama brothers do, and then you just accidentally pull up a fishman, and he's like, "Ha, you fool! I have an amazing devil fruit," and just push right back down. Dung Creek is boring. Pearl is downright repulsive, but Jin is a cool guy. Jin is a cool guy. Gene, or however the fuck it's called. I can't remember his name. It's been so long. Can't remember how it's pronounced. But Pearl, I vehemently hated. One Piece is great at making character designs that I absolutely hate. Did you just upload while live streaming, or did I just get a notification? So I scheduled that out last night. It probably just went live. Actually, I think that is my cue to end this stream. Thank you all so much for hopping by, but I was only going to go until that went out, and it appears that that went out 22 minutes ago, and I just got distracted. So I'm just going to see if there's a few more questions. I got to go. Honestly, don't want anime, but recently watched live action, really liked it. Upload while streaming. Do you watch multiple episodes a day? So I watch at least 2 episodes a day. I try to watch more than that, but recently I've only been watching 2 because I'm lazy. Are you in love with Luffy as the rest of us? He's got to be one of the most unique MCs, in my opinion. I think that he is great because he is great precisely because he isn't the typical shonen protagonist. He is just a goofy, lovable doofus, and he is great. And you still have the typical shonen protagonist role filled out by Zoro. He's the stoic badass that everyone loves and gets the cool moments. But Luffy being just a weird, goofy guy is great. Uh, but I think I am going to be ending this here now. I think I'm actually caught up to chat at this point. So thank you all so much for watching. Oh, I did not mean to press that button quite yet. Thank you all so much for watching. It has been a great time. It has been an hour and 24 minutes of this. So long. And if you can, go watch the short that came out like 30 minutes ago. Goodbye.